What's up, guys? So, normally on the car audio channel you see car audio, but not always. Sometimes you see Meatloaf. I just drained this sucker a few minutes ago. Got a little bit of fat over here on the side, but not too much. So how's everyone doing today? I am doing pretty good myself. We'll get this fat out of here. Clean off the edge a little bit. Apparently the rack kind of leans to one side. This is dinner tonight. It started off as a nice, better watch myself, I'll get burned myself. Started off as a nice log in there, a nice loaf, but it cooked down to oh man. See, I got a little bit of a crunch on the top, which is what I was shooting for. I did that by adding just a little bit of sugar to the top and kind of covering it. And that adds a glaze, and that glaze, that sugar melts and creates a nice glaze. Now this is a mixture of barbecue sauce, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, just a tiny bit, and some brown sugar. And I want to take that, cover the whole thing with it, a nice coating. Now the sugar part is really important. You can use regular sugar if you want. Both works. But you want to have that in there because the sugar creates the glaze that hardens into, well, it gives it the right texture at the end. So yeah, since I don't officially work, and my wife does, I do the cooking. I don't cook every day, but maybe 2 or 3 times a week I cook. The rest of the time it's kind of a fend for yourself kind of a situation. You know, frozen burritos and whatnot. But when I do cook, I usually throw down pretty good, so we'll see how this turns out. In case you guys are interested in my recipe on this meatloaf, what it is 2 pounds of 80-20 ground beef, 5 slices of bread, 2 large onions chopped up, some sort of cheese. I usually use Velveeta, but this time I used just another type of cheese. Maybe a size about a chunk of cheese about the size of a large hamburger patty, that size. Chop that up in there, and a generous amount of black pepper and some garlic salt. And then I glaze it. I put some brown sugar on top of the meatloaf itself. Put that in the oven for about 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes, something like that, at 425 or so degrees. Then my glaze is about 75% barbecue sauce, and this is what I use, Stubbs. I like this. It's a nice, you want a nice smoky or sweet barbecue sauce. Not something with a bunch of barky bite to it, but more of a smoky sweet flavor. And about maybe 20% ketchup, then 5% mustard, and then I add maybe two heaping teaspoons, or maybe maybe 2 tablespoons or so of brown sugar, and mix that up. And after about an hour and 10 minutes of cooking, pull it out. You know, a couple times I'll pull it out and drain the oil off, the fat off. After about an hour and 10 minutes, I pull it out and drain it one more time. And then I put my glaze on there. And the glaze, I'll put it back in the oven for somewhere between 15 to 30 minutes, depending on everything. See what I get, you know. Basically, you're wanting the glaze to kind of caramelize and turn into a thick paste or like a shell. If it's still all juicy and liquidy, then you need to keep it in the oven a little longer. It'll get to the point to where it creates kind of a crust, and that's when you know you're done. It's kind of touch and go on how that goes, so you have to play it by ear. But the whole thing takes about an hour and a half to make, from the first time you put it in the oven till finished. So I don't think I mentioned that I put 4 eggs in there also. And the 5 slices of bread, you can replace that with other stuff. But I just take 5 slices of bread and break it up into little bitty pieces. And so 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 large onions, 5 slices of bread, 4 complete eggs, a generous amount of pepper, and a generous amount of this garlic salt. And then once I've mixed all that together, oh yeah, add the cheese, mix all that together, then stir. I take my fist and just push it in there and let it kind of come up, and stir it and really get it, man. Then you put it in the pan, shape it into a loaf, you know, nice log, and then I put about a tablespoon of sugar on top and kind of evenly coat the whole top with my wooden spoon, and then I bake it that way. So that's how it goes in. Right now I'm starting the mac and cheese. So I got the macaroni on, and, but I need to pull the meatloaf out, drain it again. Give you a quick peek. You can see how the glazing is starting to look. It's pretty good. I need to drain some of this. Oil. So got some of the oil drained, and it's pretty good, but it's not done yet. Back in there. What? What? You're weird. All right. Let's pull it out here and have a look. Macaroni is ready. Got a lid on that. Need to drain it a little bit more. That's looking pretty good right there. Still a little bit juicy, but you can see how it's kind of caramelized over here. See how that's a skin? That's what you're shooting for. See that? When you get to that point where you got that skin, you're jamming right there. You'd be jamming. Now see, I know at this point you guys are hungry. See, here's what it used to look like, right? That sauce there. See, now it's a nice kind of a skin to it. Yeah, that's what's up. let's have a look, guys. Let's have a look on the inside here. A nice little slice. A chunk out there. Let's see if I can get a piece out of the corner. Oh yeah. That's jamming. Cheese is melted in there. Everything is looking real good. Now the only thing I would like to add to this is some jalapenos, maybe some green onions, but we're working with what we got. So this is what we had, so this is what we made. And you'll notice in the process of draining, I also pulled it away from the edge. And you want to do that because you want it to be exposed to the heat and that they cook. You want to keep draining that oil off so that it stays nice and dry on the sides. Not a lot of fat around it, because it slows down the cooking process, and it makes the whole thing kind of soupy. You want to keep draining it on a regular basis to get it to where it firms up and becomes like a patty, like a chunk, right? If you leave too much of the fat in there while it's going, especially toward the end of it, it'll be real juicy on the bottom and then, you know, kind of dry on the top. You want it to be real consistent, a consistent chunk. Now,